Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of the Finlatics Podcast. Today we have someone who is a very very close friend of mine, but he's not here because of that, and it's not going to be a session where we just crack jokes on each other. Yes. But more than that, it is something that is of immense pride to me also, what he's gone on to achieve. So with me today is Yash Poojary. He is the owner of a page called Commentrrr, which is loved by a lot of people on Instagram, and all of us have if I talk about myself or anybody of a similar age category or perhaps few years up and down, we're like really addicted to Instagram as a platform, predominantly because of its memes. And Yash is by and large a content creator. He creates memes to make thousands and thousands of people laugh and have a good time on Instagram and stay hooked onto the platform. So Commentrrr is a page which I find very interesting because of its concept, but it's better if Yash himself introduces us to what he does at Commentrrr, how its memes are structured, and how he became the talk of most of our social gatherings through this page. Yes. And how everyone in our social gatherings want to know how Yash cracked the code of Instagram through Commentrrr and how he got to more than 200k followers on the platform. So Yash, on to you. How did you think of Commentrrr? Yeah. What's it been like? Yes. How was the journey and everything? Can you just tell all of us about it?
Definitely. So the journey of Commentrrr was like, it's looked at as a meme page, but for me it's never been a meme page. Actually, I used to build apps for a living, and Commentrrr was supposed to be an app. I had built apps before Commentrrr as well. But one thing I realized was you need to spend money to acquire users. And when I was building Commentrrr, I was like, मुझे पैसे खर्च नहीं करने, like कुछ भी हो जाए कि इस बार users acquire करने, पैसे खर्च करने, because consumer social apps, I believe, should not charge or like should not spend money to acquire users. They should grow socially. And that was a thing which I had learned running my previous app. तो मैंने Commentrrr actually मीम पेज चालू किया था ताकि मुझे ऐप के लिए यूजर्स मिल सके. मेरा कोई ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं था कि मीम पेज चलाना है, मुझे मेरा ऐप चलाना था, एंड वही मेरा सोल पर्सपेक्टिव था. So I started the page from the perspective of getting users from my app. So we started it out, and the concept somewhere worked, and we got like 3,000 users from the page. Even though the page had like 10,000 followers, we were able to get 3,000 users for an app completely organically, and try to create engagement on the app through this. And the realization was, it's possible. We couldn't scale it. The app did not work, but the page was working. So it was sort of like you find something else while you're building something else. And page चलाने से एक अलग kick मिलता था, एक अलग learning मिलता था. And so we thought, why not continue, running the page? So that's where Commentrrr started. So the objective was never कि यार meme page बनाएंगे. It was always कि यार app चलाना है. तो meme page was just like अरे app चलाने के चलाना पड़ेगा.
But actually काफी ऐसे side hustles हुए ना, जैसे एक बार हमारी बात भी हो रही थी. I think काफी ऐसे side hustles हुए जो actually which became more successful than what it was initially thought. I think there are a few, I think, which I can think of on the back of my mind also. There are a few.
Correct. So I think what happens in these cases, you don't expect a lot out of it if you're not doing it like 100%. So because it was very casual, so I did not have any expectations कि यार ये page से 100 followers आने चाहिए, 1000 followers आने चाहिए. मेरा ध्यान कहीं और था. So that way it did not have any, like, it works, fails, could sign it. So it was more pure, I would say, than the app. Okay. I was optimizing for it. I was not optimizing for this. So pressure हट गया. तो आप कैसे भी खेलो अभी, कोई pressure नहीं है. So that was the whole point. I feel like why I'm still running the page, because there's no pressure behind it.
So when you started Commentrrr, the whole idea was to make it a funnel, like people come on the page, and through the page you develop awareness for your app that you were building at the time.
Exactly.
And then people go on to become active users on the app. And the app didn't work, but the page started working and scaled up.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting story.
Yeah.
And so, like, can you just give a brief on how it, like, I know how Commentrrr works. So like you look at a post or you look at so actually you can give us better insights than me. How does it actually work?
Sure. So the whole idea behind it was like commenter is not a content creator, it's a content curator. So there's a difference. So like the memes which are created by someone else, we curate it, right? Because we're picking the comment. So it's not, I would not say it's a part of the creation, it's more of curation. But when a user looks at it, वो Instagram क्यों खोलता है क्योंकि यार उसको entertain होना है. तो उसके दिमाग में ये creation curation का फंडा तो चल नहीं रहा है, उससे तो हंसना है. But we always know, like I always know deep down, it's a curation platform, it's not a creation platform, and the creator is someone else, and we always make sure to give the credit to that person because uska content hai. So that's how the page initially started as well. जब मैं start किया था again to get initial followers, it was like just start. We started with Bollywood comments. Like the entire thing was taking a Bollywood celebrity commenting on a Bollywood celeb, and back when we started it was more common. Now it sort of has not linear down because PR and all those things. So we have geared more towards like taking funnier comments of normal people. But initially the idea was always Bollywood blue tick comments or something around that. But we couldn't scale that beyond a point because Bollywood celebrities stop
commenting on other Bollywood celebrities.
Yeah, but they stopped being funny. So it was more. It started being more politically correct. And so because of that, we had to be like, okay, we have to now look at the next part. But initial growth जो आया था, वो आया था कि celebrity like Arjun Kapoor commenting on Ranveer Singh's picture.
Oh, अच्छा.
Yeah. So because it's हमें ऐसा लगता है ना कि अरे ये बंदा भी मतलब ये लोग भी दोस्त है. इनमें तो लोग दोनों दोस्त ही है. But we just have the idea of start. So that sort of dynamic worked for the page, and that's how I think we initially got to 10,000 followers. So that was sort of the big landmark, I would say. And when we hit 10,000, there were a few other things also we used to do again because followers लाने हैं. That's how the thing was. Because मुझे followers, honestly, I didn't care. मुझे मेरे ऐप के लिए यूजर्स चाहिए थे. तो अगर ऐप के लिए यूजर्स चाहिए तो फॉलोअर्स बढ़ाने पड़ेंगे, रीच बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. So another thing we would do is like reach out to other pages who are on the similar level. So do collaborative posts. Like so ये सब करना पड़ता है, ये जुगाड़ करना पड़ता है. Even though you might not look forward to it, or it might not look so glamorous. But so if anyone's starting a new page as well, like the advice would be reach out to pages at your similar level or slightly ahead of you. Okay. Because if you are a page with 1,000 followers, you reach out to someone with 50,000 followers, he's not going to care. It just, and like if you put yourself in their shoes, you are at 25,000 followers, someone with 500 followers reaches out, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. So you
makes
have to,
sense also.
Yeah. So you have to find someone who's at the similar level or slightly ahead or behind you. So, and that's what sort of works. So if you're 1,000 followers, you message a page with 2,000, 3,000 followers. We like your content. Do you want to collaborate? We'll take a post. We'll feature a comment from your feed, and you can share it on story. And that's how initially we reached 10,000 followers, and then it sort of started rolling.
So it's been a great journey, to think of it. Like, because content creation in India is also just like picking up quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the structure that you said, like a commenter. So you pick up the funniest comment, and then you add a comment on that comment.
Correct.
And so it becomes a structured meme, you can say. Yeah. So like if a photo has one comment, you pick up that comment. Yeah. And in the caption, you add your comment to that comment.
Correct. Yes.
And so initially you started doing that for Bollywood celebrities commenting on other Bollywood celebrities. Yeah. Because everybody, let's be fair, loves Bollywood news and loves to engage with Bollywood celebrities. And the most watched content in general is of Bollywood celebrities to a very large extent. Yeah. Then after a point when Bollywood that market kind of saturated or in a
evaporated
because more celebrities became politically correct and there was a restriction like Ranveer Singh and Arjun Kapoor, what you said, there are very less such funny friendships in Bollywood. Correct. So then you looked at memes and getting content on. It's very interesting how you shared on how you collaborated with meme pages to showcase them on your platform and you could showcase. So it'll be very interesting for all of us to know how to pick up collaborations. So like if I look at it right now, the whole platform of Commentrrr is very photo based. So now a lot of people these days consume content through Reels and Reels is something which hooks us on our phone a lot. So do you look at Reels as a competitor in terms of like a format based competitor?
No, it doesn't really matter to be honest. Like the platform, like when you when you look at a post on Instagram, like मैं सब filter निकाल दूँ as a user, मैं कुछ देखता हूँ मुझे entertain होना है, like मेरा core need वो है entertain. तो मैं पोस्ट से करूँ या रील से करूँ वो फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बट Instagram algorithmically has been promoting reels, so we also feature comments on reels. So yeah, so it works both ways, and we have been seeing like recently reels have been performing better than our static posts as well, because the algorithm has changed around it, because static posts used to be the king, but now then video came and now it's reels. So reels, but the thing what happened with reels is they pick up 3-4 days later. Where reels are discovered also through your explore page, so that might kick in a bit later, versus with posts it's like immediate, like day to day and tomorrow में पता चल जाता है कि ये चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा है. So, ऐसा भी हुआ है with some reels which will get millions of views, but it will happen on week 2 or week 3 because it got picked up later, some influencers shared it and then it got picked up more. So that you can't basically comment on a reel चल रहा है कि नहीं until week 1 is over. It can happen later as well.
Achha. So, but you're saying Instagram algorithmically now drives up reels.
Yeah.
It makes sense also. It increases minutes spent on their platform for every user. Greater stickiness. All tech metrics are like through the roof.
Exactly.
And, minutes spent on the platform increase. Interesting. So, like when we look at it from a brand building perspective, so I'm sure a lot of brands come to your to Commentrrr and approach you up for certain collaborations. So how do they look at meme pages or like content aggregation, if I can say, like a content aggregating page? How do they look at it when they approach a collaboration for their brand? Like what's their thought process?
So the brands which reach out to us directly, they always have an objective in mind of seeding their own comment, and which works great. Like if there's a collaboration with Shadi.com, so they'll have a comment in mind, they'll reach out, this is a post and this is sort of the comment we are looking at. So they try to, okay, this is Shadi.com and this is Commentrr's target audience or following. How can we merge both of them and create a comment which works for both? But the comments which work the best are the savage ones, and most brands will not like to do the savage comments, right? Because and it's savage does not, and I think what a lot of brands who crack it understand, savage does not mean derogatory. तो savage का मतलब होता है कि यार किसी को बदनाम करना है या ऐसे करना है.
हाँ वैसा तो
जरूरी नहीं है. तो the brands which reach out and they are be like हमें किसी को बदनाम नहीं करना है. It's just it can be an insight. Right? You look at something and you like हाँ ये insight पे हम कुछ कर सकते हैं, इसके around comment कर सकते हैं. So it works beautifully. So the brand reaches out कि ये हमारा post है, तो आप suggest करो कि what comment might work well with the page or our following. But it's very simple, like if and when you're asked how do you pick the comments, so it's like picking the comments like does it make me laugh, like it's the bottom line is if I look at any comment मुझे हंसी आनी चाहिए, फिर मैं I can be like अगर नहीं भी चला तो मैं वो responsibility ले सकता हूँ कि मैं जो हंसा एक जन तो हंस रहा है. And but sometimes we take comments, let's say, but it doesn't work. And you're like अरे यार मतलब ये तो सिर्फ कुछ X reason से लिया था, हमें भी funny नहीं लगा. So I think that's sort of the boundary I always keep कि मुझे core rel पे funny लगना चाहिए. And the second thing which has now become important thing, if you have a meme page, to be politically correct or at least be sensitive, like at least be mindful. That's another layer which has come, which is more recent, I would say. Be more mindful, not attack someone. And with Commentrrr, the goal has always been, it's always keep it punch up humor, never punch down. Like no matter how funny something is, but if it's punching down on someone, even a celeb or even a normal person, we always try to stay away from that. We always try to punch up, and we try to keep things which are more, I would say, holistic. Because there's another lane you can go, which is dank memes, which is
and which can also drive up a lot of following faster.
Yeah, for 100%.
Like if you become politically incorrect,
or
if you put comments which are putting down
someone.
Like in general, the content would probably work more.
100%. And the thing is,
and also just adding to that question, if you're like really politically correct, there's a risk that the content may not work at all.
100%.
So how do you maintain that boundary in terms of the content?
See, whatever lets me sleep at night, I always keep it at that. and there are some dank pages which I follow, and I feel ये moral compass सबका अलग अलग होता है, right? Like किसी के लिए like what's the like these definitions vary for everyone. It's all relative. Like what's very hot for me, a cup of tea, किसी लिए सादा चाय हो गया. मतलब मैं ये नहीं बोल सकता वो गलत है.
हाँ,
राइट. मैं अपने लिए बोल सकता है मेरे लिए बहुत गर्म है ये चाय, वो उसके लिए कैसे मैं बोलूं. So with that, it's more like a learning process. Sometimes you post something and people are like, no, this is very insensitive, or you did not care about X, Y, and Z. And it's a learning process. So you learn, you see what works on your page, and you try to be as neutral as possible, while making sure that there's still a laugh coming, because at the end of the day it's all about that. If it's a flat post, then like no one cares, and why should anyone care?
Why should anyone?
Yeah,
because they got a lot of content to consume.
Yeah, like तुम ही देख लो यार, मतलब if you look at everything in our lives, we like to be entertained, right? Like phone से लेके TV या Netflix. If there's something which you don't find entertaining, or even if there's a person in your life you don't find entertaining, or a friend, you will not hang out with that person, right? We make these conscious choices. So pages के साथ भी ऐसे ही है, and with running the page also, like putting out these pieces of content, I always feel like if I don't find it funny, it's just like it's not funny, like at least for me. So क्या फायदा?
And if I look at like when you spoke about dank memes and like dark humor, so does Instagram like put does Instagram act as a regulator to regulate certain content, like any barriers or any bottlenecks that you've faced with Instagram as a platform where it's regulating any of your content?
So see, that comes in. What happens is that when you post anything, everyone has an option to report. So I've heard it through other pages, my friends who run other pages who are much more dank, or more politically active, you can say. So what happens, Instagram was also trying to be as neutral as possible. So if someone reports and it finds that, okay, this is instigating something or putting someone down, so they might take down the post. So but you can say like there's always a censorship which is there. So you have to be very play it safe. And like there are times that people will just post something and unnecessarily also report something. But Instagram, it would be like, no, this does not make any sense. So there's always a chance post can be taken down.
Also, like one big challenge in Instagram that you might create really good content, but it might not really go viral. Right. I mean, like there would be a lot of such content creators or who are creating good content, but कोई भी reason की वजह से they're not able to find the audience. So how did you like find the audience? Like one way you spoke about is collaboration with other pages who are like more or less in the similar following category as you. Other ways in which you could suggest that a page could find its audience or like grow further.
I always feel like when it comes to anything content creation, you have to find a template. Like the faster, and you might have to make many iterations till you find that template. And templates is how the world works. And when you're a creative person, you try to run away from templates. I don't want to put myself in a box because फिर मेरा creativity constraint हो जाएगा. But if you look at anything which is the most creative, like if you look at an episode of Friends, so it's a template. Like person A को X चीज होगा, person B will react, person C will react, cold open होता है, close होता है. So it's all templatized. It's an equation. And then you be creative in that, because creativity with constraints is actually creativity on steroids. Yeah, right. Because we try to be like box कैसे कर सकते हैं, but because you can go so wild. So I would say to anyone creating content, try to find a template, because people also associate you with a template. Like you mentioned, commenter takes a post. So initially the goal was always to create a template. Like it was like कोई post देखे तो समझ जाना चाहिए कि ये commenter वाला post है. Like recently I met someone and he's like, अरे अच्छा you run the screenshot वाला page. So that's how he remembers it, which is the right way. Like because there's a template, and you look at it, you're like, ये वो page है, भले मेरा brand name ना हो या कुछ भी हो.
इंटरेस्टिंग है, क्योंकि मतलब उसमें फिर एक तरीके से कंटेंट क्रिएशन आल्सो स्केलेबल है, क्योंकि आप वो टेम्पलेट के दायरे में ही सोच रहे हो.
एंड देन यू कीप ऑप्टिमाइजिंग एंड ट्वीकिंग. तुम टेस्ट ही नहीं कर सकते कि क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा है. तो आप कैसे करोगे? So that's why a lot of times when people do like these 100-day challenges, day 1 of 100, day 2 of 100, they work very well. Is I want to relate with you and I want something new. तो वो रिलेटिविटी वाले लिए टेम्पलेट से आ जाता है कि हाँ यार कि मैं इसको जानता हूँ, like and that's why when what we're discussing also earlier, when you go abroad you feel more Indian. And when you see another Indian, you're like, bhai hai. Matlab, even though if it was the same guy in India, you're like, baad mein ja. So you want to relate with content. And I feel building these templates is a great way to create content, and
it also gives you like an identifier.
Yeah.
Like, I was just hearing somebody that in any business or in anything, you need to have a right to win.
Yeah.
And why you're better than anyone else in this business.
Correct.
So something which is similar to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like even in a content creation page, like your template is your right to win.
Yeah.
In that template, nobody can beat me.
Correct.
How well
Correct.
can I go there?
And people will know you through that. Like if I tell you Karan Johar movie, so तुम्हारे दिमाग में एक आ गया, एक इमेज आ गया, मैंने कुछ नहीं बोला है, तो there is a template of a Karan Johar movie. Every movie is different. Or I'll tell you a Diljit song or a Badshah song.
Yeah.
So you're like, हाँ ये tune बज रहा है, because they are very creative and no song you can say like ये song इसका copy ऐसे तुम नहीं बोल सकते इनके लिए भी. But एक template तो है और हमें वो template याद रहता है ना, because our minds can't comprehend 20 different things. So we'll simplify it. Like जितना simple रख सकते रखना पड़ेगा. We try to complicate stuff. Like even if you take Christopher Nolan, like the template is complicated. Like your
template in itself is complicated.
Yeah, but
you know it's complicated.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's how you associate everything around us. So I always say template बनाओ और उस पे optimize करो. But you might have to try out 10 templates, but at least you know what you're optimizing towards, and you can compare. 10 पोस्ट किया है ये टेम्पलेट में, ये पहले वाले को इतना है, तुम हर पोस्ट अलग कर रहे हो तो तुम बैरोमीटर ही नहीं है ना कंपैरिजन का.
हाँ, exactly. Right. अब it makes so much sense to me also. अगर मैंने 10 पोस्ट किया और 10 अलग अलग है, तो मुझे तो पता ही नहीं एक्चुअली इस पोस्ट ये टाइप के टेम्पलेट या ये टाइप के पोस्ट की क्या पोटेंशियल है. Fair enough. So like you like the association that it's like जैसे किसी ने बोला स्क्रीनशॉट वाला पेज, तो एक सेकंड में you're like अगर कोई स्क्रीनशॉट वाले पेज के बारे में सोच रहा है तो it's Commentrrr.
Correct.
That makes a lot of sense, and it could help a lot of people who are trying to build content to get into a better zone of creativity and scale up accordingly. So like moving ahead, like how do you see collaborations with brands increasing, or how do you see the future of this space developing? Be it one way could be branded collaborations. What other ways do you see the future of the page going ahead?
See, a lot of times what happens with meme page, in any ecosystem there's a hierarchy. Like you take media, you take tech, there are various players. So memes sort of come there because most meme pages are not how do you say creator facing. There's a face on it. They are faceless pages, right?
Like right now is the first time I think you're coming.
Correct.
As the owner of the page.
Correct. Like, exactly.
Till now, you and Commentrrr are two different identities in the digital world.
Correct. It's two different identities.
And I think today on our podcast, it's the first time both identities are merging.
Yes. So, and most of my friends who run pages, they like to keep it that way. It's also to avoid backlash. Sometimes you say something or you create it and it always comes back. This person runs the page. So you try to keep it separate. And it's also fun to keep it like that because you can like, this is my page and this is who I am. So I don't have to put my face on it. But the moment you start putting your face on it and then creating content, it's a different thing. You have become a creator. And memes are just a way. Like you'll create video memes. So which is a different value unlock. A lot of people find much more comfort in doing that, and I've scaled it very well doing that. And also there's more money to that. Like you make much more money if you have a face on your page. That's how it works. So there's a hierarchy. There are various types of pages, and there are marketing info pages which will provide info in the business or finance. So there are it's very spread across. And the question to ask yourself is, what do you feel the most comfortable or liking towards, like which genre it is. It can be like, I want to create memes but I want to be in front of the camera, so that works as well. or you can be like, "No, I don't want to put my face on the camera. I want to do it some way else."
Depends on who you are as a person.
Exactly. Also. Depends on who you are and what you have an inclination towards, right? Like people can be varied in that sense. And when it comes to because we are discussing about featuring comments and stuff like that, one thing which I always try to imbibe as well is like whenever we get a negative comment on a post, we try to run away from it. Like, he's wrong. बट यार वो रॉन्ग तो 100% शायद नहीं है, ठीक है, उसमें कोई तो सच्चाई है तभी तुम्हें चुभ रही है, ठीक है, और कुछ भी सच्चाई नहीं है तो probably it will not hurt you, right? It's like saying अरे you have blue hair, it will not bother you because you know you don't have blue hair. But if they're saying something, it might be this element of truth, and we always discard negative comments as कि it's wrong. But I feel it's great feedback. And if someone has taken actually, even though it's negative, has taken the time and effort to comment on your post, it's not what it wants. Like recently we put out a post like a couple of days back which was text heavy. So like मैं घंटा इतना लंबा पोस्ट पढ़ूंगा, ठीक है, but he's honest. At least उसने सच तो बोला है. Like नहीं पढ़ते ना लोग.
सही बात है.
But in general
sense फीडबैक तो मिला ना.
फीडबैक तो मिला कि यार
अगर कोई लिख देता बहुत अच्छा पोस्ट है तो उसमें एक्चुअली कोई फीडबैक नहीं मिलता.
हाँ, और एटलीस्ट यू नो कि he's telling the truth. So it's like comments are a great way to find what someone's thinking. Like if you want to see what someone thinks of a creator, just go and open their comment feed. You'll understand so much more than just seeing the creator's content. Because there are two things, right? You create content and how it's construed by someone else.
Yeah.
It's very different. सब content अपनी नजरिए से देखते हैं.
हाँ, one is your view, one is the audience's view.
Yeah. And it can be construed very differently. And you don't know that. So if you go, and comment section is somewhere I feel people are very honest because you want to be funny
and unfiltered.
Unfiltered, right? And funny honesty से आता है somewhere. सच बोलने से funny ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है. So I feel that's a great way to see like on someone's comment feed. Even on YouTube, like you go to, like I feel there's such beautiful comments. Beautiful in the sense they're funny, they're nice. तुम कोक स्टूडियो क्या कोई भी गाना उठा लो, उस पे तुम कमेंट्स पढ़ोगे.
इनफैक्ट काफी पुराने गानों पे ये कमेंट होता है. आई एम लिसनिंग.
हाँ,
था कि
2030,
2024 का are you here even 2024. Even which is like the most relatable comment अगर आप उस समय सुन रहे होते हो.
और ऐसे लोग कस्टमाइज करते रहते हैं कि March 2024 if you're listening 10 साल हो गए या जो भी हो गया. So that's one type. And but if you see like I think a great place to see comments is India Pakistan uniting is Coke Studio. If you go to any Coke Studio song and Afreen, you'll see the love, like that everything dissolves and you're just appreciating art through comments. Like मैं आपको नहीं देख सकता, आप मुझे नहीं देख सकते. Borders किसी को पता नहीं कौन कहाँ से है, वो बंदा बांग्लादेश से भी होगा. Okay, and we are like we don't know, but it's so beautiful. And I feel that's why the reason to also run the page is like you learn a lot through comments. And it's
somewhere you learn the pulse of what ticks in the audience.
Yeah, correct, exactly. So you learn what gets people going, right? Like you said, like
what works, what doesn't get people going.
Yeah, doesn't work, and it's such a big mystery. Like even if you put thousands of posts, you still have to be like, this post will not work on the merit of your previous post. Yeah. So it's always like
a 0-1 game.
Like ये पोस्ट पे तुम जज होंगे. Like this I recently heard a interview where Virat Kohli gave. He like, even if you're Sachin Tendulkar, you'll get the applause when you enter the stadium. But फिर तो तुम उसी दिन के जजमेंट पे मतलब प्ले परफॉर्मेंस पे जज होंगे.
हाँ, exactly.
So it doesn't matter. जो तुम्हें वो standing ovation खत्म हो गया. तो when it comes to like even if you run a page with a lot of followers, your followers but वो तो ठीक है, मतलब लोग देखेंगे, but engage करेंगे तभी when you're creating quality content.
So like the future, you feel like creating more quality content to build up the page in terms of making it a place where you can in a way find the pulse of what people are thinking, what people are thinking on what their opinion is on various various issues going around. Because I know a lot of times on your page you have a funny way of posting a lot of social issues also which are going on.
Correct.
like off late, like when there was I read there is a meme on your page which I love, which is on the geopolitical crisis between India and Canada, and a lot of visas issues were happening. So there was a very funny take on that. So in a way, if I look at it now that you gave me this perspective, you gave all of us this perspective, going ahead, a lot of light way, a lot of issue based commenting can be seen on your page in a very light way.
Correct.
So that people have fun while also being aware at the same time, but have fun, which is like the core of everything.
And not to put like anyone down, and we still be able to laugh at it and without taking it to the extreme.
Without taking it to the extreme, and so that you can sleep at night.
I can sleep at night. I care a lot about that. So the whole point, like, इससे एटलीस्ट क्यूरियोसिटी तो आ गई कि वो जिसको नहीं भी पता है वो एक बार सोच, मेरे को मीम समझ में क्यों नहीं आया।
हाँ एग्जैक्टली, वो सोचेगा तो सही, जैसे अगर वो इशू का मुझे नहीं पता होता।
तो ये इंडिया कनाडा का क्या चल रहा है, मैं गूगल तो मारूं, बिकॉज़ न्यूज़पेपर तो उठा के पढ़ नहीं रहा आज के टाइम में।
मोस्टली जो लेट्स बी फ्रैंक, मोस्टली जो मैक्सिमम एक्टिव होते हैं वो न्यूज़पेपर तो उठा के पढ़ नहीं रहा,
कोई नहीं पढ़ रहा। सो यू विल एटलीस्ट बी लाइक व्हाई एम आई फीलिंग लेफ्ट आउट, और लाइक एंड इफ द पोस्ट हैज हाई नंबर ऑफ लाइक्स यू विल बी लाइक अरे इतने लोगों को समझ में आया तो मुझे क्यों नहीं आया, और मैं तो क्या बोलते हैं
दिन भर इंस्टाग्राम
जेनजी हूँ, तो आई ऑन इंस्टाग्राम, आई शुड बी ऑन ट्रेंड. So I feel that's a good way, and a lot of people try to do that as well, trying to educate via memes.
Yeah, exactly. With a lot of times when I also, if I don't understand any meme on your page, I do go and I kind of Google about that issue to kind of understand that meme. क्या रे यार ये मतलब लोगों को हंसी आ रही है, मुझे क्यों हंसी नहीं आ रही, मतलब एक FOMO create हो जाता है at the end of the day on like understanding the meme. So going ahead, a lot of people these days do have this idea that they want to kind of educate themselves via memes. So that's an interesting agenda also to work on, like for like a lot of meme pages. But yours is already kind of working on it in a very large way. And so also, do you feel that suppose because you create a lot of authentic content and like you hold a community like as an influencer also, so traditionally influencer based marketing like has been done through Bollywood celebrities.
Correct.
Like they've been the biggest influencers which capture the minds of people. So do you feel that trend changing going ahead, where a lot of influencers become credible voices for certain set of brands which have traditionally relied on Bollywood celebrities being those voices?
I think it's already happening. A lot of brands have realized. See, like there's a power, there's a charm that Bollywood has. Like because we both of us grew up in Mumbai, we don't realize that we are not enamored by it probably that much. Because it was always there. But whenever I speak to someone who's not from Mumbai, like the charm, I don't think that can ever go away. Like the look they have, when you say Bollywood, I don't think when they say a meme page, there's no gleam in someone's eyes. So there's always that. But it's not accessible to everyone, right? Like if you're a small brand, you're starting a cafe, you can't get Ranveer Singh or Deepika to come and do an ad for your thing.
Unless they love your coffee.
Unless they love your coffee. Or they invest in it. Something like that. But it's about accessibility. And a small cafe owner can start creating content on Instagram, can start creating reels or posts and stuff like that, and create a community as well. And because he never had the option, there's no option of accessing them, right? But if you see even large scale brands, they have also realized of using celebrities in a meme format. A lot of the cred ads you see, they are still memes.
They are memes. Okay. Interesting.
So it's like leveraging both. Like how can you leverage or please both? Like you want to please a Gen Z person, you want to please a Gen X person. Like how do you find that balance? And I feel that's what most ads also which you go viral are, I would say, more memes. Like there's a template. Then being the traditional ads. Even the cred ads, they were viral, but they were actually memes inside ads, and there's celebrities as well. So you think this ecosystem will coincide? It coincide.
Intersect. More than it being like one versus the other. You look at it as a place where there will
Yeah.
be an intersection and coexistence of both Bollywood celebrities holding
Yeah.
communities
Correct.
and dominating influence
Yeah.
and using influencers or pages
Yeah.
as a tool to
Yeah.
engage with that
Correct.
community and with that say target group in terms of marketing terms.
Yeah.
But that is like the whole way
Yeah.
which you feel interesting because generally there's a debate कि ये चलेगा आगे कि ये
हाँ.
चलेगा, but
हाँ.
coexistence is like a
Correct.
way of the game maybe going ahead.
Yeah, so if you see a lot of influencers are now coming in Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
So it is there's a reason because they have जब आप influencer word use करते हो, right? A lot of people don't have influence and but very few people have that influence and people who are they are getting those roles in an A-list movie, right?
हाँ.
You get a role in a Dharma movie or a Yash Raj movie. And your work got you there. Like you were an influencer, but you're
Yeah.
still getting to act next to a Bollywood A-list celeb. So that's what it's already happening. It's already coexisting.
Yeah, the ecosystem is already
Yeah.
coexisting. That's great. Yeah. Also, our last question is like a bit on the on the achievement side of things.
Yeah.
So how did it feel to hit 100K? How did it feel to hit 200K?
Yeah.
That's the first
Yeah.
question.
So when you look at these milestones of 100K, so we tend to focus a lot on these outputs, right? Like 100K is an output; it's not an input. I can't control this 100K. So I personally don't like any milestone we hit. 50K, 100K, 150K is not something I look forward to celebrating. I like to celebrate. So when you open an Instagram profile, there are three things which you look. You can look at the number of posts, the following, and the followers, and then how many person the page is following. I like to focus on the first number, which is the number of posts, because it's a controllable thing. I can control how many posts I can put out. The next number I have zero control over, pretty much. Like I'll work towards it. So I don't like to work towards that. I like to control the first number. It's like we have created 3,000 posts. So we put out a post saying that this was a 3,000th post. I love that fact more than reaching 100K or 150K, because it feels like अरे हमें पता है ना हम ये कर सकते हैं और हमने किया है, क्योंकि वो तो एक्सटर्नल है, like वो एज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट है. अगर आप वो ऑप्टिमाइज ही करते रहोगे and if you're not satisfied with the input, it won't matter that much.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
So you focus on what you can control.
You focus on what you can control, and it's always been like we have to put out 2 posts a day. Like it's very mathematical in that sense कि सुबह एक पोस्ट आएगा शाम को एक पोस्ट आएगा. So can we just optimize for that? And yes, then you have to see what content you create. Yeah, followers matter obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here, right? If you had 10 followers. But I always like to believe कि यार control your inputs. Try to be unique, because a lot of times you try to copy someone and sort of like doesn't work out because you are not being yourself, so you'll get fatigued faster. So you rather have a template, try to be as unique as possible. कुछ तो ढूंढो यार, color, template, your voice. So वो आपको जुगाड़ना है. Like that's the effort you have to put on your end, and then try to create and package it well so that people can relate. Because in reels also, like the first 5 seconds or the first 2 seconds are so important. So
Exactly, because that's where you capture the
the hook. It's called the hook, right? So you have to capture the relatability. Because if you're not relatable, people will not watch your content. And then you expand.
So, like how you've actually given us a perspective, like before I spoke to you right now, like my whole thought was that content creation or anything creative is think out of the box.
Yeah.
But now I feel it's the maximum you can do while thinking in the box. Like the number of posts you do per day, that's something which you have quantitatively measured.
Correct.
The template is something that you stick by and follow.
Yeah.
So even meme pages or content creation through meme or something to make you laugh, it's very process driven now, as I can say.
Yes, it
which is like my biggest output out of this talk also.
Correct. And if you see a lot, anything you love, like take any show, take these people have a very strict template. Like they.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally agree to that.
Yeah, so there's a writer's room, right, where people write these shows for hours, and they're like ये होना चाहिए, ये नहीं होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, और एक टाइम होता है कि ये episode 22 मिनट का है, it's logged. So there's a template, right? That because when you start optimizing for these things, yeah, your brain is free to do other stuff, to be actually creative. और ये एपिसोड 20 मिनट का होना चाहिए कि 18 का, तो ये डिबेट में आपका कितना मेंटल बैंडविड्थ चला गया.
हाँ, और जैसे काफी शोज मैंने भी जो देखे पहले, वो मतलब इट्स बेसिकली इफ आई लुक एट अ सिटकॉम, देयर आर ऑफन 2 or 3 पैरेलल स्टोरीज गोइंग ऑन in any sitcom, which is perhaps, now I look at it, it's like a template. A lot of sitcoms at work, they have 2 parallel stories going on with different set of characters inside the show. A lot of sitcoms at work may also have one story going on with everyone. So that's the template for that show, that's the template for that show, and the template is something which works with the audience. So yeah, it's like a process driven way of towards creativity also. And that's great, yeah. So thanks Yash, thanks for interacting with us. I think this was a very insightful session. A lot of people who want to build pages, become content creators, become content curators, aggregators, would learn a lot by listening to your insights on how you built this whole page. And I've been personally following it since a very long time, and I've had one of my craziest laughs on your page. It's one of the page whose memes I share the most in my social circle also, and a lot of people I know, for me a big matter of pride was actually not when you hit 100k, but was actually when I found somebody who follows that same page, and I didn't recommend it to him.
Correct.
Like I was with a cousin and he followed that page on his own independently.
Correct.
So then I realized, this is something that's like really getting viral now. And it's really working. So thanks for this great chat. We hope you enjoyed as well.
Yes.
And we hope our viewers also enjoy this episode. It was fun shooting and it was full of insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks. And one thing to end it on, because Nishant has been there. I have known Nishant since before Commentrrr as well. So it's like because even on the apps I was working before Commentrrr. So it's great to catch up and talk about the journey about like even when the page did not exist. So thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.